Hey everybody, welcome back to another Judgment commentary of Zoku Owarimonogatari, but today we're going to be checking out episode 2. And last time in episode 1, after finally finishing up his story and wrapping up all the loose ends, Araragi was just going to chill out and enjoy his new life, free from all of the miscellaneous little ghosty problems that he would so commonly have to deal with. That is until he got sucked into his frickin' mirror and ended up in a parallel world where all of the main attributes of the people he knows have been reversed. Rather strange. I mean, he was just sitting there, minding his own business, getting ready for the day, and he looks in his reflection, and for some reason it seemed to have gotten out of sync with him. It wasn't moving when he was moving, so he reaches out to investigate, and then he just reaches through the mirror like it was a pool of water, and then gets pulled in. While in there, he had his typical awkward hijinks with Karen, only now she's much shorter than she normally would be. Although Tsukihi wasn't much different, maybe a little bit more subdued in the way she spoke, but otherwise she was pretty much the same. But then we got to Ononoki, and she, if you ask me, was the most distinctly different out of all the ones we saw in that episode, because as opposed to being very expressionless and not having much emotion in the way she spoke, she was hyper expressive in a very almost distracting sort of way. So much so that I didn't even really get a good grasp of what she was trying to say until after I went back and watched the scene again, and really all it amounted to was that she was questioning how Tadachi was able to walk on the shrine grounds even though he supposedly would have been cursed to not walk on the ground anymore, and Araragi gave the obvious answer that it's because he was in hell, so the rules don't apply to him anymore. Also, she didn't quite understand how that last scene would lead into Hanamonogatari, but I don't know, was that scene supposed to lead into Hanamonogatari? But right after that, he decided to go and visit Mayoi and see if she could help, and, well, now Mayoi is not a little kid anymore. She has the form of an adult, akin to the one we saw in that parallel timeline where she never died. And she also turned the tables on Araragi, spinning him around and getting all up in his business and stuff like that. Definitely a solid second place behind Ononoki in terms of being different. But Araragi finally came to the conclusion that he is in fact trapped in a mirror world, as if that wasn't obvious already, and that things work differently than you might expect, because this is not its own isolated world with its own, history and past. Instead, it's just a reflection of his world from when he went into the mirror. But the problem is, because he's in a mirror world here, Shinobu couldn't go with him, because vampires don't have reflections. And even though he is currently still somewhat a vampire, he still has his reflections, so he's allowed in. But it does make me wonder if this world would have had a mirrored Araragi, and if maybe he swapped places with them and that Araragi is in his world now. And if he did have an opposite, I don't even know what it would be like. But really, besides all that, there's not much else to say about what happened in the episode, so let's not waste any time and just begin episode 2. Okay, what happened at the end was we saw him blink with the picture-taking sound effect, and it did the Ogi darkness eyeball thing. Now that's an interesting way to twist this around, because they made it seem like they were the opposites of their actual selves in this mirror world, when really it's just showing them on the inside. And it just so happens that on the inside, they have traits that seem to be the opposite of how they present themselves. Apparently Karen on the inside is just short, I guess. And Ononoki on the inside actually is incredibly expressive and very outgoing. She just can't act like that otherwise, I suppose. Oh dang, I left one frame in of the next shot in this GIF. Please ignore that. But anyway, the takeaway from that would be very devastating, because we had Saruga running around shouting about hatred while just murderously running towards Araragi trying to kill him, being represented by the brainy devil there. And then Hanekawa as the cat, saying she doesn't care for Araragi. I mean, the cat has always been a way to represent Hanekawa's true feelings to some extent, because she manifested from her stress that was building up inside her, but so in a way it already did represent what was inside of her feelings-wise, but this being more akin to what Nadeko is like on the inside actually does make a lot of sense, because we know she had always been holding a lot back, and when that exploded out, it was a distinct difference from how she was presenting herself. And she's only just recently started to be more true to how she is, and seeing this more stoic and sharp side of Nadeko is not at all surprising to me. But that leads back to what I was speculating earlier about there being a mirror Araragi. If there was, it wouldn't be the opposite of him, it would be how he is on the inside. Technically, Ogi was a lot like how Araragi was on the inside, so maybe I was already right from the get-go that she was his reflection then, at least to an extent. Maybe this world is where those strange, inexplicable apparitions even come from. Maybe they all just come in from this mirror dimension. That's why these apparitions are referred to as being them. But why they also seem to be greatly invested in working towards that person's inner interests. And Araragi did allude to the bath maybe theoretically having something to do with Saruga's mom, and we do know that Saruga's mom had the same thing happen as Araragi, where an Ogi-like being came into existence. But who knows, maybe I'm being like Araragi and just thinking too much about this, but I'm just trying to wrap my head around it here. Just throwing stuff at the wall. But the weird one is Sadachi. I can't forget to bring up Sadachi because her appearance in here is fascinating because this is supposed to be her inside out. And it's more representing her had she gotten to live with Araragi, had she been taken away from her abusive family when she was a kid. Although she did say that it felt like one big lie. She felt like this life that she was living in the mirror world is not the truth. I suppose if someone were living the truth but were harboring a lie within them, turning them inside out would bring that lie into the mirror world. Maybe, but again, I am probably really just trying to stretch to think about this here, but I can't help it. It's Monogatari, I gotta try. Oh well, that might be the most I can squeeze my brain to surmise of this, but for now, I think that's it. So, thank you for watching, guys. Make sure to leave a like and a comment if you enjoyed. Subscribe to be updated on more. That would be fantastic. Next time, we got episode 3. That'll put us right squarely at the halfway point of Koyomi Reverse. Things have gotten very interesting. The reveal that the mirror world turns people more inside out rather than making them in reverse opens up a lot of new thought processes. Or thought processes. I don't know why I wanted to pluralize it like that. But all the same, the episode definitely left me with a lot of interesting things to think about and try to make sense of here, but I'm sure as we move along with this, we'll get to see some more details that can help flesh it out. But like I said, that's it. So rather than keep you any longer, till we meet again, I will see you guys later.